All right, first and foremost, we're giving all praises, all honor, and all glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shai. It's your brother, Chief Priest, Allah's Auburn Lawyer, a.k.a. the Guerrilla Hebrew.
It's the brother Hassan.
We're back at y'all with another tape session through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. How's everybody doing? Today, we're going to be going over the recent debate I had with Battle Truth over on Sunetta Studios. It's probably, we talked on a lot of topics, so, want to just keep going in this same spirit that we've been going in as far as, slowing things down, going over things, kind of getting all the gems out, getting the meat off the bones, and things of that nature through the spirit of the Most High, and elaborating and quantifying on, things that were touched on in these videos. Umberto, big up Holland, my brothers out there in the Netherlands, big up to them. Big up to all my Akim, Yawashim, Yashar, Brakathum. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely going down in the spirit, right? So, yeah, man, I guess without any further ado, we're going to make it happen.
Thank you. Is Adam and Eve the first man and woman? Yes, obviously. Clear. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 15:45, the first man, Adam, was from the earth. The first man, Adam, was from the earth.
Of course I'm going to deal with this, but then to talk about the second, but that is the true definition of eisegesis. Am I right or wrong, Hassan? That's the true definition of ripping something out of context. It's what you always got to pay attention to with Christians. Christians will always accuse you of doing what they do. The only Bible verses that they know are out of context. Name me one Bible verse Christians know that's in context. They don't know Genesis 1:1 in context. They don't know John 3:16 in context. Right? I mean, what other scriptures do they know but them too? And he's called, judge, let's not you be judged. They don't know that in context. Christians do not know any Bible verse in true context. Yet they'll tell you that you're ripping something out of context. Hold on one second. I don't understand what it's trying to tell me. Okay, so anyway, yeah. So they take every damn thing out of context in the first place, right? So let's keep going.
Second man, Adam, Jesus, was from the spirit. Was from the spirit. Now, let him have dominion. Let him have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of
What the hell is going on?
Go to chapter 2 when he tells you the process of what took place when he created Adam. The Bible says this. And look at how clear it is.
Let's go here. Hold on. Christians like to convolute a lot. Let's go here. So we have now watch this. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, the powers ended their work. Right? It says God ended his work, which really the powers ended their work. The Elohim ended their work, which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that Yahweh power made the earth and the heavens and every plant, right? So we're going to go down. There's a garden. So where do we see? Okay. And then God took man and put him in the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it, right? So here we have this going on at this time, right? So it's not necessarily in this instance specifying at what time this is coming into play, right? Because we have the seventh day, then it seemed like it's a recap, right? So a lot of people contend that this is on the sixth day, I believe, right? Am I right about that, Hazard? They usually say that this Adam thing is happening on the sixth day, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Where, without a doubt, you can't get around it.
He gonna say this so many times. Without a doubt, you can't get around it, right? But he does not get around anything. This whole debate.
The Bible says in Genesis chapter 2, this is what it says. It says, in God formed, Genesis chapter 2, verses, okay, right here. I'm sorry, my page is off. Okay, Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. It says, and God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became of it.
Get that precept out.
I got 2%.
Okay. Hold on 1 second, man. This stuff is still playing. I don't understand what's going on today.
Came a living soul.
All right, boom. Go ahead.
Come
on, man. There we go.
There he put the man whom he had formed.
Come on.
So he created one person.
Go ahead.
First, just dealing with that, he made man of the dust of the ground. This is 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 7. It's 2 and 7 with 1 Samuel. Genesis 2 and 7.
Look at the spirit.
It says, the Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust. Are they?
So go ahead.
Are they literally? Is God literally taking poor people and they're somehow made from the dust and then making? What kind of sense does that make?
Again, the same way how he took Israel out of slavery in Egypt and made them into a great people. The same way in this time, he's going to take us out of the dust that we sit in as a people, as the Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and raise us up into a great nation ruling under his son, who you call Christ, Yahushua, is the same way Adam was raised up. His people and the people that Adam came from, they weren't known as the greatest people in the Garden of Eden. Right? But out of that position was somebody made to rule, and that was the man Adam. Right? And you convolute that into there was nobody before him. No, the significance of him being chosen and elevated into a position of rulership by Yahweh is that he was raised up out of nothing. The Most High is the originator and inventor of making nothing out of something, or making something out of nothing. What's the proof that you exist? He just was there. Right or wrong?
That's what his name means.
He is. He's there.
Yeah.
And then from nothing, he creates. He speaks his son into existence. And he says, son, go create. Make angels. And then you and the angels, you're going to make the heavens and the earth. Right? Not the heavens that the Most High doing. We're talking about the heavens that we can see. Right? You're going to make the heavens and the earth. Then you're going to make people. Then, son, I'm going to send you down to these people that you made. And I'm going to give you dominion amongst those people. And how did Yahushua, his chief creation, he came down through Adam. That's why it said the first man Adam and the second man Adam. Yeah. If you really want to let's really get into it with these niggas.
Well, we're going into the video.
Right? Other precept?
Yeah, because for anyone that's wondering, the dust is just symbolic of a lower state. The dust is the lowest of the low. That's the lowest part of the ground. So that just symbolizes something low. So I'm gonna prove that real quick. Then I'm gonna get the precept for what it is. What is the breath of life? So this is I'm gonna read two precepts. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon.
Come sit in that low place.
Right.
That's where we at. We was brought into that low. What verse is that?
Isaiah 47:1.
Where were we at that time? We were in slavery to the Babylonians.
Well, yeah. Then that.
See what I'm saying? It's even. Here's what we have to understand. This Genesis is vague, but it's even when we take a look at the context, right? With us going into the dust right there in Isaiah, right? Us figurative people coming out of the dust in Samuel. It's even possibly now, we could even theorize that we could have been in a captivity at that time. That we could have been subjugated to the serpent. Right? That's possible. I'm not saying this emphatically now. All right? But just from what we have here, we could possibly deduce that. That is one of the theories. Some of this stuff is not even important for us to know. Right? But we theorize about it. We think about it. We're critical thinkers. You understand what I'm saying? Critical thinker. Look at the minute we stopped on. Look at the time mark. That's in the spirit of the Most High. Right? Well, go ahead.
Yeah, and just going back to, because Isaiah 47 is talking about this, it's talking about captivity right now. So it says the Babylonians will get put in the dust. They're going to sit in the dust, meaning they're going to be brought to a lower state. So,
when they would show great and grand, they're going to come down low.
Now this is Isaiah 52:2. Shake thyself from the dust. Arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of
Salakia. Post boy, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah Wata. Go ahead.
And when you read it in another version, it basically means rise from the dust. Now, are we literally in the dust? No, we're in the lowest state. So the same way Babylon is going to fall and get brought down to a lower state, we're going to get lifted up from our highest state. That's all it means to be raised from the dust of the ground. Be brought on high from our lowest state.
Yeah. Why do you think we say Kwam YASHARAHLA?
Right.
Rise, Israel. Because where are we at right now? Are we risen? No, we in the damn dust. In captivity, broke, poor, in confusion and disarray. So we got to be risen up out of this position through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So what do we say to each other? Kwam YASHARAHLA. We chant that. Kwam YASHARAHLA. That means rise, Israel. Rise from what? The dust that we're sitting in. That's the dust. People see man was formed from the dust of the earth. And they say, well, man was made from the dust. He didn't come out of the water, which we're going to go into, right? No, man come out of the water. Now, are the elements that are in the ground in man? Yes. Are the elements that are in the ground under the water too, Hassad? I mean, there's no difference from the ground underwater and the ground. It's just that one is covered in water, one is not, and one is dry. It's still land. One is dry, one is wet, though. That's the only difference. So, that's how man was really made. We made of the same things and elements that we see here on earth. Because that's what the Elohim created with. But we come out of the water. There's not one child that you have seen on earth that was not born out of water. Then what happens when he ready to get born when he come out of the water? So out of the water come the living creature. There's no way around that. So when it's talking about the dust of the earth, it's not literally talking about being made from the dust of the earth. It's talking about Adam being elevated and risen out of a state, a lower state, into a position of authority and rulership. Because the Son of the Most High was born as Adam. That's what you're going to come to find out. That's why I talk about the first man Adam and the last man Adam. All these Christians will do what? Talk about it all go back to the fall of Adam, right? It's the fall of Adam, right? So who can redeem the fall of Adam but Adam? Adam came and made up for what he did wrong as Yahushua. It's the same guy. It's also Solomon. He said it out of his own mouth. A greater Solomon is here. What you'll come to find out is, in the English it reads, a greater than Solomon is here. But what you'll come to find out when you look at the original text, when you look at the Greek, it don't say nothing about a greater than Solomon is here. He said a greater Solomon. I'm a better version of the nigga I used to be. That's what Yahushua said in that time. He had to make up for the idolatry that he led Israel into by going off in his older age. He had to fulfill the prophecy that the son of David would build an everlasting temple and have an everlasting kingdom. But y'all not reading these Christians, they're not reading the Bible for real. Precepts.
Yeah, just real quick point, because when you look at it, and we might need to do a lesson on this. When you look at Yahushua and what his mission is and what his mission is going to be, it's basically fixing all his past mistakes. Now, briefly, what does that mean? Under Solomon, the kingdom was split, right? Mm-hmm. So what is Yahushua going to do to bring the kingdom back together?
That's right.
So you just have endless examples like that.
That's a powerful. That's a profound point, like the brother's making. Whose fault is it that the kingdom was split? Solomon. Who got to bring the kingdom back? Only the God that split it. Right. Who's the reason death entered into the world?
Right.
Adam. Who's got to swallow up death?
Right.
Adam. Yeah. You got to right your own wrong. That's what the Most High is showing us here. And he's showing Israel how to rule. And what's the ultimate example of showing Israel how to rule? Showing our king, his son, Yahushua, how to rule. I brought you back one time. Look what you did. You let the woman usurp you, and you fell off into eating the forbidden fruit, meaning internalizing the doctrine of the serpent. Right? So now we got to. So you messed up there. Then when you're Solomon, I give you another chance to reign, and then this happens. Right? So now we got to fix that. But see, that shows you how full circle this whole thing is coming through the spirit and power of the Most High. Point out.
And it's like even with going back to the Solomon led him astray. Then Yahushua came and he didn't even need one. Uh-huh. But this is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 verse going back to the breath of life, verse 24. For wisdom is more moving than any emotion. Mm. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. Mm-hmm. For she is the breath of the power of God.
She's the what?
The breath of the power of God.
So the breath go back into wisdom. So let's read, if you could, let's go to Genesis. Let's go. Matter of fact, is it Genesis 1 we want to go to?
What the breath of the life?
Con, Genesis 1.
It's 2 and, hold on, it's 2 and like 8, I think. Is it?
Let me take a look. Yeah, Genesis 2.
Yeah, 2 and 7.
2 and 7, read it.
Genesis 2 and 7, and the Lord God formed man.
Well, read it with the Most High name, so we can understand. Because in Genesis right here, you have to read it like that, because you got to understand what it's talking about, the Elohim, and it's talking about Yahweh. He had Yahushua and the angels doing creation. Now Yahweh's in here, right? Now Yahweh's in here making it happen. Why? Because Yahushua is not over the charge of creation right now. Why? Because he's sending him to earth as a human being, as the man Adam. So read it now.
Genesis 2 and 7. And Yahweh formed man of the dust of the ground.
He formed man from the dust. He brought man out of the dust. He raised man. He raised Adam up out of the dust. Who is his son in this instance? Who is Yahushua? Is Adam not called the son of God? Read.
It says, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
Gave him wisdom. He gave him wisdom. What's wisdom? Give me wisdom. What is the wisdom? Right?
This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Behold, I have taught you statutes
Uh-huh.
and judgments,
Statutes and judgments, read.
even as Yahweh my God commanded me,
Uh-huh.
that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Read on.
Keep therefore and do them,
Uh-huh.
for this is your wisdom.
What?
This is your wisdom.
The law is our wisdom. His son came to this earth as Adam, and he gave Adam laws, statutes, and commandments. This is what it means when it say that he formed man from the dust of the ground, raised him up out of poverty, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. He raised him out of a state of poverty and gave him laws. That's what this means. Not what you've learned in your church. Not that he formed him he just made Adam out of the ground, and he breathed into Adam, and Adam started breathing. Wait a damn minute. Hold up. Let's go back to Genesis 1. Let's show you how the breath of life here is not dealing with that. Right? Watch this. Where we at?
Genesis 1.
Genesis 1, and let's read Salakia. Where we gonna go to? Let's read verse 20. Read verse 20.
Genesis 1 and 20. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly.
Let the waters bring forth abundantly what?
The moving creature
Uh-huh.
that hath life.
Read on.
And fowl that may fly above the earth.
So a fowl that fly above the earth, that's a bird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do a bird need to breathe, officer aside?
Certainly does.
So wait a minute. Why don't the bird get the breath of life put in him? Every damn thing that's alive got to breathe to live. So that breath of life has nothing to do with literal being able to pump oxygen. First off, on the fourth day, what did the Most High create? He created trees, right? Plant life. Doesn't plant life need oxygen? So why didn't he breathe into the breath of life into the plants and the animals? It's showing you it's not dealing with anything literal. Or else he would have had to stop, and it would have been noted that he gave the breath of life to all things that are in need of oxygen. Even the whale, he talking about he created a great whale. Ain't there whales that gotta come up for oxygen? See what I'm saying? But they were not given the breath of life. Only man was. Why? That they breathe oxygen. Why was man given the breath of life? Because it's not literally talking about breath, but it's rather talking about wisdom. What is the wisdom? The laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's what sets man apart from beast. Read.
Ecclesiastes 7 and 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
That's why it's the breath of life. Wisdom giveth life to the breath that have it. Give me that in Psalms. What I want, Psalms 40,
40 and 2.
49.
Beast.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I need.
Psalm 49 and 20. Man that is in honor and understandeth not is like the beast that perish.
It's like the beast that when you don't have understanding, you're like a beast. So what differentiates man from beast? The fact that we have understanding, that we have laws, that we have rules and regulation, that's a form of wisdom. Every group of people has it. But we, or the chosen people, which the proto version of the Israelites are the Adamites, who Yahweh Shah was head of as Adam, right? They had the wisdom of God. Right? Everybody creates their own form of wisdom. The Arab man has Islam, right? The East Indian man has Hinduism. The other people, the East Asian man, he have Buddhism. What are all those things? Those are the understanding or the wisdom of that particular group of people. It's not the wisdom of God. It's not from the Most High, but it's something that helps order and structure and civilize those beast-like heathens. But what we have is something directly from the Holy One, directly from the Creator, directly from the Most High Yahweh. That's called Thawarah, which means instructions, or what's now called laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? Go ahead.
Baruch 3 and 9. Hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom.
That's it. Say what? Read it again.
Baruch 3 and 9. Hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom.
The commandments of life, that's our wisdom. So what happened was Adam was brought out of a lower state and given laws, given commandments. That's what it means when it says man was formed from the dust of the ground and he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. It's not talking about he fashioned one man out of dust and gave him the ability for his heart to pump oxygen. It means that there was one particular group of human beings that was headed by one guy whose name was Adam, who was brought out of a lower state and given laws by God. That's what that means. Right? So go ahead.
I mean, that's pretty much it on that.
All right. So like, let's go back here.
I mean,
Another preset. You had another point. Hit it out. Hit it, because I want to make sure Akim is getting this. They taking their notes. They highlighting these things, because sometimes we kind of neglect Genesis. Sometimes Genesis 1 at least, right? Sometimes, and it's good to go over this and go into this breakdown, because the Christian understanding of creation reigns supreme over the world. And we have to show how inadequate it is, how much it doesn't line up with Scripture in truth, right? By decoding it through the Spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So read.
God, it's just going back to the being made of the dust of the ground, not literal. Psalm chapter 40, verse 2, a Psalm of David. He, talking about the Most High, he brought me up also out of an horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock and established my goings.
He gave me out of dust, out of a hellhole, and established me, right? And that's what happened with Adam. He was brought out of a miry pit and placed on a rock, meaning he was given a strong foundation, right? So let's go back to this tape.
One person to back up what it says in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 45. Adam is the first man, number one, the uno, that's it. God formed that man, singular, put him in the garden to till it. Verse 9, and out of the ground the Lord God called and broke every tree that is pleasant to the sight, for good for food, and the tree of life was also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And the river went out of Eden to water the garden, and there it was parted and became into four heads. And the name of the first was the Python, the name of the second compasses the whole leg of Havilah, where there is gold. Now going down, it says this, verse 16. It says, verse 15, 16. And the Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may eat freely, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat of it, but in the day you eat of it, you shall surely die. And the Lord...
So it's the same thing, going into the different wisdom that the different people have. When they say you can eat of these trees, but not the one in the midst. It's the same way, like you can go and learn the wisdom that's been developed by certain of these cultures. He said, but this particular culture, you don't learn their wisdom. You don't follow after them. But the other cultures, you could break bread with and sit down with and learn what they're talking about, right? You learn a principle or a wise, when you get the Tibetan monk say something wise, well, then you take that, right? Sun Tzu, which some people believe he's a black man, right? They believe Sun Tzu's a black man.
I don't know.
Some people believe it.
Right.
He has something called the Art of War. That's got good information. You learn from that, right? You don't fall into idolatry, but you learn from that. But them people in the midst of the garden, who are what you would call a prototype for the Canaanites, just like the Adamites are a prototype for the Israelites, don't learn from them. Don't deal with them, right? Precept?
I'm trying to find, there's a scripture that talks about wisdom from the east.
Yeah. The people of the east,
Right.
who are wise. That's what you're looking for.
Right.
Talking to do with the people of the east who are wise. Let's talk about it. The people of Amalek, right? Jewish man is wise. He's a damn demon, but they have wisdom. Or else how were they able to do what they've done in the earth? Through wisdom. They're not stupid like the Japhetic people, right? What wisdom are you going to learn from the people of Japheth, right? They believe in a rotisserie pig, right? And a damn grass skirt. So those people are not wise. There's not a lot that you can learn from those people. But there are people on the earth who you can learn from, who are not Israelite, who are not your people, who are heathens. But they have developed systems of wisdom that are valuable to you to learn, or not even necessarily valuable, but they could be, or you could get a little gem from another nation. But he said, them people in the midst of the garden, you don't follow that. You don't internalize the information that they're presenting. You leave them the hell alone, right? Precept, you found it?
No.
Okay, we'll just keep going.
said, verse 18, listen closely, it is not good that man should be alone. Adam was alone with God when God created him. He was by himself. There was no other human beings here.
James Johnson, Tawada Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah. But for
establishing his relationship with Adam. So before anybody
Hold
else
on.
could come, God was.
here's the problem. So he's saying that means that Adam was totally alone as a human being. That's extremely problematic. Right? Here's why. If somebody's alone, does that mean that it's only them? If you say, oh, I'm alone right now, that means you're the only person that exists? Man was not made to be alone. Did it say, so I made other men? I made other people to exist? No, it says, so he gave him a woman. Right? What does that let you know? Him being alone means he was single. He was not married. He did not have a wife. That's all that means. He's now taken that and made that into Adam is the only person that exists. Number one, even if he was the only person, he was not alone because there was there was animals there, right? If Adam had a pet dog, would he be alone? No, he has a dog, but he still wouldn't have a wife. That's what it means by alone. The Hebrew word achad, which means single, one, alone, etc. Right? Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 4:11. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone?
Ooh, he can't be warm alone. Most High said, I got to get this guy a woman so he can be warm. Right? I need Adam to be warm. Let's keep going.
So before anybody else could come, God was establishing his relationship with Adam and only Adam. And Adam was alone. Clearly right here, Adam is the first man. Adam is alone. Adam put in the garden, and he's the ruler of the world. And he's establishing his relationship.
What is the significance of Adam ruling the world if it's only him? See that? There's not even a point in ruling a world that you're the only nigga in. Of course you rule the world. It's only you. But there is something special about ruling a world that's inhabited. Ruling a world that has various peoples in it. That's what's significant. And that's what Adam truly did. He ruled that garden. Who was in that garden? Various nations. The same people who are in it today. Because that garden exists right now. It's called the Fertile Crescent. That's Egypt to Iraq. Right? He ruled those people. And guess what? There were people east of that. There were people outside of that garden too. There were people east of that garden. That's what, when we deal with Cain. Where did Cain go? Eastward. He went east of the garden. When Adam got exiled, where did he go? He went east. Hassan, the first time Israel gets kicked out, the first time Judah, let's go to Judah. The first time Judah gets kicked out, where does Judah go? East. Where? To Babylon. The same place that's east of the garden. Same place east of the Fertile Crescent is the same. We're not seeing the parallels here. There's no new thing on either side of the flood. You ain't read that yet in the Bible? When Yahweh said, just as in the days of Noah. That's letting you know what happened on the first side of the flood is the same thing that's happening on this side of the flood. This one's just taking place over a longer course of time. But it's the same thing. Right? Precept? No? All right.
With God. Watch this. Then it says, when God said it's not good that man should be alone, I will make him a helper. Now we going to the woman. Well, we're clearly going to see that Adam was the only man and Eve was the only woman. As we go deeper into the scripture.
So according to him, what man was made on what day?
From Adam's will.
Woman was made on what day?
And from his will.
6th day.
They were both made on the 6th day? I'm saying though, does he believe, what is the days? Are they literal 24 hours?
You know he believes they're little 24-hour days.
So wait a minute. So what day was Adam made according to him?
6th day.
So how does that, so Eve was made then not on the 6th day. It's not the same day though.
So that means, hold on now.
So Adam had to be when was he, like, what age was Adam made then?
He was made a grown man. He made Adam out. We pay attention to what this guy and people like idiots.
You see what I'm saying, though?
Idiots like him believe. Adam is made a grown-up.
Right.
Right? In one day, on one 24-hour day. Adam is made a grown-up. He's made ruler of what's there. And then the Most High go, hold on. Wait a minute. He needs somebody. And then then he put that nigga to sleep, remove a rib from him, and make Eve. This is all on a Wednesday. No, it's the 6th day, so it's all on a Friday, according to him. On a Friday, the Most High says, I'm gonna make Adam. All right, cool. All right, take a rib out that nigga. I'm gonna make him a woman now. This is all happening on a Friday, right? Right? 2 grown-ups are made, ready to go, ready to have sex, right? And start making Cain and Abel. But they're newborn grown-ups, right? Newborn grown-ups are made. This is not sensible. There's nothing sensible about this. Right? Let's go.
Shit, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called a woman.
Stop that there. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. What does that mean? Give me the precepts. All right. In the Haitian culture, in the tribe of Levi, we call ourselves Zoe. This is a Zoe. I'm a Zoe. This is Zoe life. What does that mean? It means my bone. You're referring to somebody as being the same people as you. Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. Right? Read that.
2 Samuel 5:1. Then came all the tribes of Israel to David.
David gathered all the tribes. Right? Read.
Unto Hebron. And spake, saying, Behold, we are thy bone and thy flesh.
We are thy what?
We are thy bone and thy flesh.
We are thy bone and thy flesh. So that's a biblical statement to say we are related to each other. So when Adam says bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, what he's saying is that Eve is my sister. Not sister like we got the same mother and father, but we're coming from the same people. This is my sister, man. When you get a sister from your nation, she's your bone of your bone. That's your sister, man. Right? That's the same people as you. She came the same struggle as you. She understands you and what you've come from. That's what Adam is saying. I don't have a strange woman. I didn't get a woman from another nation, a woman from another society that doesn't understand what I've gone through as a so-called black or Hispanic man. I got a sister that gets it. I got a sister that understands the life that I've lived and what I came from and my family. That's what I had. That's what he said when he said, she flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone. Not that the Most High took a rib out of a nigga and just made somebody. First of all, if the Most High is just making things out of nothing, why do we need the bone? Oh, why do we need a damn rib in the first place? No, he don't need a rib. He could just make somebody. He could just speak somebody and they'll just exist. Right? So when they talk about flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone, and when they say come out the rib, when you actually understand in the Hebrew, it would come out the side. Meaning she was a relative of his, a cousin of his. That's what it actually means. When you really want to go down to it, Eve and Adam are cousins. Meaning that they have parents and their parents are siblings. Right? Precept?
Genesis 29:13-14.
There you go.
And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house, and he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month.
He said, you my bone and my flesh, you my family. You my sister's son. Whatever you need. That's what Adam is saying, and that's what our people say to each other. When you look at this through any other lens, you're going to get confused. You're going to. You are going off of the interpretation of somebody who is not a part of the culture that wrote these scriptures. These scriptures were written by Israelites for Israelites. If you're an admitted Gentile, how can you interpret to me what this is? How can I think a Gentile, a non-Israelite, can tell me anything about this text and the cultural context of it. You can't. Y'all see how easy it's been for us to go into the precepts to each one of these statements to disprove the Christian understanding. If you read it at face value without understanding how the Bible works and how these people wrote, you can come to these conclusions. But that's because you're totally oblivious to the people and the culture of the people whose literature this is. That's the issue. But here's the problem. Battle Truth is an Israelite. But he is learning his history being retold to him by his enemy. So he's lost and he's confused and he doesn't understand it. Give me some Proverbs 5 real quick.
Yeah, imagine Esau trying to break down certain rap bars.
Rap lyrics.
You see what I'm saying? He would not understand the double entendres. He would think everything's literal. Because the so-called white man is myopic. But this is Proverbs 5:1. It says, "My son, attend unto wisdom and bow thine ear to my understanding."
No, Salakia, I need a cistern. Water's out of our own cistern.
Oh, 15. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 15. "Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well."
See that? That's what meaning we have to learn from our people. We don't learn from nobody else. We learn from us. We learn from each other. We do not learn from the white man. We do not learn from the Arab. We do not learn from the Chinese man. You learn from other blacks and Hispanics who learn from other blacks and Hispanics. Not a black or Hispanic that learned from a white man and is just an agent of the agenda of the white man. We talking about blacks and Hispanics that truly are educated from one another through the spirit of the Most High. That goes all the way back to Elder Bivens. Elder Bivens rejected the Jewish teachings of the commandment keepers that he was once a part of. And he believed, no, that's not right. We are the people of this Bible, and we dictate. And the Spirit of God is dealing with us to understand and interpret this Bible correctly. Then that torch was passed to Yaquab, to Marshall, to Ariah. And Yaquab and Marshall died in this truth. All right? And Ariah, as he started to bug out, the torch was passed elsewhere. All the way down to brothers that we have on the scene today through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So we are the vanguards of this Bible. Nobody else is the vanguard of this Bible. Nobody else is authorized by God to interpret and understand what's going on in this Bible to the degree that his people and his servants, the prophets, are. Period. And this is telltale proof because this nigga ain't got no idea what in the hell he's talking about. Precept?
No, I mean,
You go. All right.
Women here, but Adam, the one that created the world. Adam said, "She is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called a woman." So you can't have other women or men here when Adam is the first man and Eve is the first woman. Adam named her woman, so no other women can be here apart from her. Not only that, in Genesis 3, it also goes on to say, "And Eve became the mother of all the living."
This nigga just said there can be no woman on the earth but Eve, but he's getting ready to say that Cain had a wife. How is this possible? Cut? Oh, you getting the dagger ready?
he's about to cut himself.
Yeah, come.
Eve became the mother of all the living, according to her species. So she's the mother of all the living, according to her species. There's no way to get around this. It's cut and dry. Not only that, then when you go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, the Bible clearly says that in Adam all died. In Adam all died. That's inside his bloodline. Every human being that comes from Adam and Eve, the first man and first woman, life as we know it, we all died as a result of their sin. Then here is the sin gene. So in Adam, all died.
Like I'm going to ask, and he never produces, what is the sin gene? Can I look at it in a microscope? Because he's not saying we all are sin. He's saying that there's something genetic in us that make us sin. It's genetic. Right. Can I identify that in a laboratory? Right. Explain that to me.
Why don't we do some damn some surgery, man?
Yeah, how can I get it out? Can I get it out? Then I'll be in the new covenant.
Some chemo or something.
You know, that's insane.
Oh, A-L-L. But in Christ, many will be made alive. That's rich. Also,
What he's saying is people who have natural death, people who have a natural birth, who are born after the natural man, will die. People who have the spiritual will have eternal life. That's what's being said there. That's being now convoluted. Christians are the kings of eisegesis.
go to the Word of God. Not only did he say Adam is the first, we can't get around first. Eve was named by Adam, which was called woman, that Adam created.
Wait. Eve was made by, I thought God made Adam out of the, God made Eve out of the rib of Adam. This nigga just said Adam created Eve.
Double-minded.
I didn't even pick up on that in the debate. That's crazy.
So that right there killed this whole debate right then and there. Eve was named woman from Adam. Adam is the first man. In Adam all died. Psalm chapter 51, verse 5. Clearly gives us the death gene that's inherited.
Now it's a sin gene and a death gene. I need to see these genes under a microscope. I need to know the scientific name for these genes. You're making stuff up.
So real quick, wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. He said because of Adam's sin, all his descendants died, right?
And what he said?
Because they have the death gene.
But
did Adam die? Yes. So he had the death gene, but I thought we got the death gene as a result of his sin.
So where did he get the death gene
Right.
from? I need to understand that.
Someone it was like like Suge Knight said. Remember, someone
He hit with the needle.
someone hit him with the
The
needle.
angel came down and hit the nigga with a needle.
Stupid, man. How does that make sense?
That's insane. But like the brother said, in the image of God, male and female made he them. That's what it say in Genesis 1. Them. There's a collective create. There is no, you can't make man without a woman. We won't be able to exist.
Through conception of why we die. Psalm 51, verse 5 says this. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, you...
That's that original sin Catholic heresy. That's the way he's trying to interpret that scripture.
And in sin did my mother conceive me. So we are conceived through sex, the sin gene, while every human being...
See, look, he just took that scripture and made sex a sin. He just did that. I'm going to cut it, so don't worry about it.
There's something I want to say without referring to saying. A brother in Christ. Oh, my goodness.
Lord in Christ.
If there were men and women here before Adam and Eve, that means they will be alive to this day. Why? Because they don't have the death gene.
So why Adam and Eve alive?
Nigga. in my REO verse, nigga.
Right.
What is the death gene? Where is it identified in the Bible, and where is it identified in science? Because when you say gene, you're talking science and you're talking genetics. You are making things up. I want to know what crockpot pastor introduced the concept of a death gene to your simple ass and how it magically penetrated that damn wave cap you got on. I would love to understand that.
Was Enoch born of sex?
Yeah, did Enoch have the death gene? Why didn't that nigga die? These are the questions we have to ask. Christians don't know what the hell is going on with this Bible, man. Right?
Where they at? Where they at? Not only that, how could they be called women when Adam the one that created the word woman? How could it be a man when Adam is said to be the first man? So let's get this. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 called Adam the first man. Adam named Eve woman. Adam was in the garden alone. God said, it is not good that this man should be alone. I will make him a helper. Then we see...
That's the context. Alone mean he need a helper, meaning he need a woman. That's the context. It didn't say he needs a friend.
Yeah.
He needs somebody to talk to. He needs a comrade. No, he needs a girl.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. Who remembers when Shaq left the Lakers in like 2004? What were people, man, Kobe's doing it all by himself. Kobe's alone. Is he literally playing 1-on-5 basketball?
Was there not 11 other people on his team?
Negro, please, man. This is ridiculous.
See, but yeah, man, the English language is tricky. And people play a lot of games with figures of speech, context, societal expressions, etc. It's crazy.
They all died in Adam. Why? Because of the sin gene. Psalm chapter 51, verse 5. So there.
And I cringe every time I hear him talking about a gene that he cannot prove exists.
If there were men and women here before Adam and Eve, they don't have the sin gene. They excluded from the sin gene, which means they are eternal, immortal.
No. First off, were the people that pre-existed Adam given commandments by God that they were not permitted to break? No. So then they didn't what? Sin. And if they didn't sin, right, then how in the hell could this even be applicable? It's in no way applicable. That's why Adam was kicked out. The other trees were not kicked out of the garden. Adam was the one that was instructed not to do something, not everyone else. Right?
So where are you? If they were here before Adam and Eve, and who are you?
That whole thing is a false. What he's saying right now is all based off of a total false premise.
Mumbo jumbo.
Total mumbo jumbo.
How about the Bible produce the evidence of the being, but Adam and Eve now is directly given credit for being the first man and first woman, and Eve is the mother of all the living, according to her species. How do you get around that?
All right, time. It's all right if y'all go over 5 extra seconds. It don't matter. If y'all keep going, y'all can stop at, I'll let y'all know when it's time. But coming out the gate with some powerful information. And the people that's listening, when these brothers call out the scriptures, go do fact check on your own. Go see what the brother's saying, so you see that he not just making this up. So, Brother Guerrilla Hebrew, are you ready, brother? Are you locked and loaded, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, time will start when you start. Remember, the topic of this first round is, are Adam and Eve the first people on earth? Yes or no? It's on you. You got the floor, brother.
Okay, so again, first and foremost, I give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. As y'all just saw in my opponent's opening, it's exactly what I said. Christianity has totally destroyed us. This man said sex is sin. The sin gene comes from sex, which I would like him to scientifically show me where the sin gene and the death gene and all these genes he keeps talking about. Because when you start throwing the term gene around, you're dealing with science. I need you to scientifically explain to me how any of that exists. 1. 2. Sex is a sin. Well, let's see what the true first commandment in the whole Bible is in Genesis 1. Let's see if he read over this, right, while he's in Genesis. Genesis 1 and 26. And God said, let us make man in our image. He references, right? After our likeness. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowls of the air, over the cattle, and over all. So now,
You just broke up too, Guerrilla Hebrew. You broke up. But go ahead. You broke up at the end of that statement. Yes, you good now.
Okay, am I good now? Okay, beautiful. So Genesis 1 and 28. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, who is he blessing and saying unto man, right? He blessed them and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. This man, due to the indoctrination of Christianity, painted to him by pedophile, homosexual Caucasians that enslaved and raped his ancestors, is telling you that sex is wrong when the Bible is telling you in the very first book of it, you better have sex, you better make babies, you better feel the face of this earth.
Yeah, that's a supreme dagger. Go ahead, officer.
Sirach 15 and 20, because this man, like the brother brought out, is trying to say that sex is a sin. Sirach 15 and 20, he hath commanded no man to do wickedly, neither hath he given any man license to sin. So why in Genesis 1 would the Most High say, yeah, have sex if it's a sin? How crazy does that sound?
That's right. That's madness. He's telling us, go and have sex, man. You better have, like I just said, you better have sex. You better repopulate. You better feel the face of this earth.
Why would he say children are a heritage? What is it in Proverbs? You know what I'm talking about? Man, hold on. I gotta get this. 1 second. Okay, hold on. Proverbs chapter. Okay, sorry. Psalm 127 and 3. Lo, children are heritage of Yahweh, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. Now, why his reward for what? Being wicked?
For being a sinner? That's stupid. But again, like I said, homosexual rapists and pedophiles will propagate that to you, that heterosexual sex, consensual heterosexual sexual intercourse is a problem. Only they would tell you that, right? Because they like children and other grown men.
Right.
That's the first thing he tells human beings after he makes them. Don't have kids, have sex, reproduce. This man just told you sex is sin. But this is just demonstrating how destroyed Christianity has our people. So this man said, it's a first man out of the Corinthians. You can't get around first. What's the next sentence? And I cannot believe that we're going to sit here and do this when I just watched earlier Tazariak destroy you on this. I can't believe you had the nerve to bring this verse out as if it has validity and don't you argue. He goes to 1 Corinthians, when in 1 Corinthians it says the first man Adam came from the ground and the second man Adam that he.
Look at this devil.
Yeah, that's Satan. Man.
That's Satan if I ever seen
I've
him.
seen the devil.
Now, it's a reference to Jesus Christ carrying a quickening spirit, right? That's what it say, right? Now, it first means first in the case of Adam, then second in the case of Christ has to mean second. But let's see if we follow his logic here and employ that to Genesis 4:1. Genesis 4:1. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain. So if Adam is the first man, Cain is the second man, but the verse you read in 1 Corinthians says Christ is the second man. So you're going to have to reconcile that, buddy. If
That's, that's
you
irreconcilable.
see how
That's irreconcilable.
That's what we call an irreconcilable difference right there, brother.
Shut down shop. Man.
You don't know what you're talking about, my man.
ideology comes crashing down upon itself? Oh, Adam was there, and he was the only person there. Let's see what Luke says. Luke 1:70. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, the holy prophets, plural, prophets, plural, which have been since the world began. So the Bible says the prophets have been since the world began. How do you think the voice of the Lord walked through the garden? Have you ever seen a voice grow legs and walk? No. But what does God say in the Bible? That my prophets are my voice. So his prophets were there, and that's who rebuked Adam when he sinned. But if you're trapped in Christianity, you're just going to throw out all logic and not deal with any of that.
Look at Sonny. You see Sonny in his face right there? He knows this nigga's done.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And here's one thing that, you know, when brothers debate Christians, some of that is it's really unfair, but of course, you know, we have the truth, and they have the lie. So it's apparent that they're going to be able to get away with certain things that we're not going to get away with. Meaning what? Every time they say something, we address every single thing that they say. And this is the brother's opening statement, and he's in defense mode already.
Yeah, I haven't even started to lay my own premise at this point.
But he's already chopping down what this brother is saying. He's still a brother, even though he's bugged the hell out. But notice how Battle Truth hardly addresses anything. Did this Negro address the prophets that have been since the world began? How do you explain that? Oh, I know. You just act like that never happened. I don't know what. Just keep going. That's what he did. Notice that, family, that he does not address hardly any of the points that are brought forth. Hardly any of them. Unless, I remember during the debate, Alazar had to basically force this man into answering a damn question. But all throughout, and you see in the man's opening statement, the brother's opening statement, he's already addressing things that he's saying. But he can't do that. He can't show the same respect as a black man to answer a brother's question. That shows you where the man's head is at. Because he's thinking, roll tape.
You know, but I mean that's pretty much it. He doesn't address that. That's such a cold dagger that the prophets have been since the world began. Yet you can't address how the prophets have been since the world began. Right? So the prophets have to be there. Again, who rebukes Adam in the garden? Does the voice of the Most High grow legs? No. The prophets are the mouthpiece of God. Everyone knows that from Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah. They were called the mouthpiece of the Most High Yahweh. So that means that there were prophets set up there. So Adam was king, but you had prophets there too. And what did the prophets do when once it came evident that Adam went off, they rebuked Adam. See what I'm saying? That's what happened. But you know, a Christian can't see that, and a Christian not only he is so blind to it that he has to entirely ignore it and act like it never happened. That's how sickening it is. Right? 1 second. It's a particular precept I'm looking for. Particular verse I'm looking for. I think I'm looking for. I think I know what I'm looking for. Jeremiah. I'm looking for Jeremiah 5.
About what? The beer is my mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 14, but I think there's another.
No, I know what you're talking about. Pretty sure it is 5.
No, it's 5. I'm just trying to see where in the prophet come in. For whereas the Lord spake, because this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth.
No, it's 15 and 19.
Okay, read it.
Jeremiah 15 and 19. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, if thou return, then will I bring thee again, and thou shalt stand before me. And if thou take forth the precious from the vial, thou shalt be as my mouth.
See that? Y'all, you shall be as my mouth. So those prophets that were there, or the voice of the Lord walking through the garden, is the prophets being the mouth and rebuking Adam. It's just that simple, right? So let's go.
Now go into the book of Genesis 4 again, right? So we go to Genesis 4:16, and it reads, and Cain went out from the presence of Yahweh in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. So he gets kicked out of Eden because he kills his brother. Now, if Adam and Eve were the only two people, and Cain and Abel were their only two kids at that time, then, and Cain kills Abel, that means he's the only person outside of his parents. But he goes to a land that already has a name of it, that's east of where his parents live, that's called Nod. That's interesting, right? 17. And Cain knew his wife. Wait, where the hell did Cain get a wife from? He goes to a land that already has a name and gets a wife. His mom is the only person, the only woman on the planet Earth, according to the name of the city after his son Enoch. What does he do to say? Well, Adam and Eve, they had daughters. Oh, they did. All right, well, let's go to Genesis 5 and 4. And the days of Adam, after he had begotten Seth, were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. So he didn't have daughters and additional sons until after he had Seth. Seth happened after the murder, but immediately after the murder of Cain, he goes, gets a wife, and starts to reproduce and have kids. What does that let you know? There were already people here. There had to be people here. Then, too, also, he talked about some death gene, and everyone that is a son of Adam has died. Well, quick question, my man Battle Troop. Did Enoch die and Elijah die? If you've been watching Sunday TV, he's been talking about what happened to Enoch and Elijah, asking every Hebrew Israelite and Christian he comes into contact with, you're going to sit there and say everybody died? Well, what about them two? That's ridiculous. Anyway, let's go back to Genesis 1 right here. So we've already established Cain went, left his parents, went to an entirely established land, got a wife, and started reproducing. So there's no way that his parents were the first two people. That's ridiculous, because his father didn't start having additional sons and didn't have any daughters until the birth of Seth, which happened long after Cain killed Abel. So that's ridiculous. Now in Genesis 1 and 20, and it reads, and God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and the fowl that fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw it was good. So here we have every living creature that moveth coming out of the waters. I don't understand why people read this and think that human beings are excluded from that, as if we're not creatures. The word creature in English, even in and of itself, means what? Creation. You're simply a creation, right? When a woman gives birth, what happens? Her water breaks, right? But you think human beings can come out of water. Well, let's see what the Bible says. Second Ezra 8:8, and it reads, "For when the body is fashioned now in the mother's womb, and thou givest it members, thy creature is preserved in fire and water, and 9 months doeth thy workmanship endure thy creature, which is created in her." So here it calls a baby a creature twice and says that it's made in water. The same way it's documented all the living creatures coming out of the water on the 5th day in Genesis 1:20-21. So yes, this is before the creation of Adam and Eve, or the waking up, or the rising up in the exaltation of Adam and Eve, right? So if we go here real quick into the Hebrew, right, for the word that's there for the creature, right, it means soul, self, life, creature, person, mind, living being. We have minds, we have souls, we are selves, we are persons, we are living beings. So how are we going to exclude human beings from this? That's ridiculous. This is why you have to go into the Hebrew language. That's why this brother struggles so much for understanding. He's not actually scrutinizing and studying the language that the text was written in. He's just taking the English and whatever master taught him. And that's why he struggles with understanding so much. Right? To further prove that the word is applicable to human beings, a human being is creation, we're going to take a look at how this same word is used in the very next book, the book of Exodus, the 1st chapter and the 5th verse. And it reads, "And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already." See that? All the souls that came out of Jacob were 70 souls. Talking about Jacob, his kids, and his grandkids had multiplied to 70. They came out of his womb. Meaning, out of his penis, he shot these people in the womb and they became human beings. Right? So that's what the same word for soul there is the same word that's used for creature in Genesis 1. Letting you know that we are the creatures, or we are included in the creatures that were created during that time period on the 5th day, not the 6th or the 7th.
Time.
All right? But
Time.
with that,
Hey, Guerrilla, are you watching so you can watch your time as well?
no, I ain't been watching.
Okay, well, powerful response. I'm gonna give
Yeah, I couldn't. Hey, look.
5 minutes for rebuttal. If you would like to rebuttal this, I will give him 5.
So look, I couldn't have said it no more better than myself through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. That's why I wasn't even no need to stop it. Was you have something?
I think you went into it during the debate, but that creature is preserved in water. I think you went.
I might have, but we did on that one call at one time. Right. But it's telling you that that creature is preserved in water,
which serves as a twofold dagger. But if you don't, we can just bring it out.
Yeah, it shows you the creature
and where it comes from the water.
Exactly, creatures coming out that water. Oh, what?
No, that's 8 minutes to open up the round. Oh, so y'all want the 8 minutes on the rebuttal too? That's cool. 8 minutes. All right, you got it. You got the 8 minutes, brother. Okay, no problem.
This dude want to go for damn ever, man.
You got the 8 minutes for the rebuttal. It's on you, Battle Truth.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to tell y'all now, he's talking about the indoctrinated. Let me show you what spiritually dead means. He just took the story of Cain. Now, let me tell you how he manipulated and twisted that whole story. And what's the difference when you read in the spirit than reading and what he's talking about? Now, in the story of Cain, he said, it said,
I'm Jonathan Proctor, CEO of Jobs.com, to give you naked truth about laundry.
Gee,
Huh. Oh, I'm not even.
them ass, man. Look at Esau, them ass.
The naked truth
All right.
about
Oh,
laundry.
He's getting the truth, huh?
He was getting the naked truth, huh? It was his spiritual.
The water shipped all of it.
It says in Genesis chapter, what I'm reading there, Genesis chapter 4, verse 14. Watch this. I'm going to go from 13. Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, you have driven me this day out from the face of the earth, and from your face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass, that everyone that finds me shall slay me. Wait, we getting kicked out of the land.
So
No, yeah, go ahead.
Wait a minute. Why is Cain worried about people coming to kill him if it's only him and his parents on the earth?
Exactly. His daddy would have been killed if he wanted to kill him.
Everyone that findeth me shall kill me.
Who is everyone?
Who is that? Who are these people?
That's suicide. What that's called, Akim, and sisters, it's called suicide, right?
So, okay, I'm gonna just say I don't really care. Okay, so there was an episode of SpongeBob, right? I'm like 5 years old at the time. Okay, but basically Patrick comes home and there's some random people in his house and he says, "Who are you people? Who are these people?" That's where. Who the hell are these people in Genesis that that Cain is worried about? Number one, where did he get his wife from? Number two, who the hell are these people that are supposed to be killing him if there's nobody on the earth except him and his mother, or him and his dad and his mother? What kind of sense does that make?
Yeah, that's a cold dagger. That's a cold dagger. He that's a suicide live. Y'all just witnessed a live suicide.
There's other people there. Why they have to come find him? If he going to a land,
If there's other, he said, if there's other people there, why they gotta come find him? I mean, if there's not other people there, how are they going to find him? How is he going to be found if there's no one else? That's stupid.
Right.
Even let's say his parents are gonna have other kids, they're gonna be little. This nigga's grown. And mind you, now Hassad, when is this all happening?
Apparently, this is like
The 7th day. Proving what? This is not 24-hour things
right. That's what.
at all.
So everybody, so Adam was a grown man when he was made.
Okay, I'll take
Eve was a
that.
grown
Grown.
man.
But then
So
they had
Cain-
2 grown kids.
Why- so-
The next day,
Right.
9-month gestation.
And where are these other grown ass people that are coming to kill Cain? Who are these grown ass folks that are trying to kill each other, man?
This is outright stupidity. Outright.
be occupied by people, wouldn't he be the one finding them? And it shall come to pass that everyone that finds me shall slay me. Watch this. And the Lord said to him, therefore whosoever slay Cain, vengeance shall be taken from him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon him. Leave any finding him should kill him. Watch this, y'all. And Cain went out from the presence of the
Why
Lord
would
and
Cain-
dwelt in the land of Nod. He believed because it called Nod that it belonged to somebody. That's just like saying the Garden of Eden is by somebody named Eden.
Why would the Most High put a mark on Cain to separate him from other people? So people would look at him and know about that mark. Why, if it was only him and his parents, would there need to be a mark? You're telling me his own parents aren't going to recognize
Yeah, this is the nigga that killed our other son.
It's our son.
Yeah,
This is our son.
this is our son that killed our other son. That they need some type of distinguishing thing on him to tell him apart from everybody else. More stupidity.
Or the rivers, which is the Euphrates or the Tigris River, belong to Euphrates and Tigris. Just because God created them and gave them names don't mean that they belong to birth. But notice what it says. Cain went out to the land of Nod and knew his wife, meaning she already with him.
So he's saying I'm wrong saying that he went to Nod and got a wife, that he already had a wife before he went to Nod. That's his point, trying to cut me. But all that does is yet a double. He done committed suicide 2 times in less than 2 minutes. Clock started at 8 minutes. It says 6:09. This nigga killed himself twice by admitting that there were people that were going to find Cain and kill him, which is why there needed to be a mark set upon him. Then saying that Cain had a wife prior to him being ran into the land of Nod, eastward of Eden.
So who is the woman? Who's his wife?
Who is his wife? Where did he get his wife? He doesn't even try to say this was Adam's other child. He never even furthers that theory. But he admits right now that Cain has a wife in the garden. What does that show you? That there were other people.
Body
He
bag.
went to the land of Nod, knew his wife, and built the city. If the land is already occupied by people, why he have to build the city?
Our cities are getting built right now, and people live there.
He has to build the city. But that's what I mean by spiritually dead and not understanding words in scripture. So it's your
I'm spiritual. I don't understand words. This nigga don't know one Hebrew or Greek word, but I don't understand words.
The wordsmith.
Yeah, the who they call the word wizard.
why? Because he don't even know that Cain and Abel was even twins. He don't even know that. Now,
Of course I know that because I teach that Cain and Abel are the prototype of Esau and Jacob. So of course I know they're twins. Genius.
Watch this. It says that Cain already had his wife. How do you miss that? Look, and Cain went out.
No, well, Battle Truth. Okay, great. How the hell do you think that his parents are the first 2 people if he got a wife?
The Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of the garden and knew his wife. That's actually why. She already there. And they had a baby and built the city. You see that? But let's go a little deeper. Notice, he don't even know what the death gene is. He said, sex is sin. No.
I don't know. Admittedly, I don't know what the death gene is. I deny that it's a real thing. Can you explain it to me? I'm asking you for a scientific explanation of something because it's certainly not in scripture.
In the beginning, he said, I said sex was sin. But in the beginning, when God said be fruitful and multiply, it was holy and righteous. The reason why we died is because Adam and Eve sinned against God, which the death gene came in them.
But where does sex become sin?
What?
Even in all that, when does it become wrong to have sex?
So it was first holy and righteous sex, but then Adam and Eve sinned, so now it's unrighteous sex.
But the marriage bed is undefiled. Come on, man. This is insanity.
This is the reason why we died. You have no other explanation for why human beings died apart from that. So why was it?
Well, it's not called the death gene. That's not what it's called.
So why does this? I mean, I'm not trying to get too into the brother's personal life, but brother, if you have children, if you do, why are you further propagating this death gene on the planet?
Yeah, why don't we stop it? Why don't we stop it through you not procreating and making more stupid children?
Right, there you go. There you go.
Oh man.
Say that's not true when Psalm 51 clearly showing us the death gene. Psalm 51 verse 5 says this. This is what it says. How do you get around this? Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. That's a death gene. Because before Adam and Eve,
That's where does it say death gene?
Let me read the Bible. Proverbs. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 30. I'm starting at the 5th verse. It says, "Every word of God is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar."
Hold on. Look at what I said. It's a city, even a city without people.
Well, let's see what the definition of the city is.
I ain't gonna lie, man. That was killing me, man.
Hold on, Let's see. I can't believe we're doing this. Looking up
The death
definition of
gene.
a city.
I want to look up the definition of death gene. What is the death gene? The sin gene? Go ahead.
Let's see. Let me look up the word. See. Hold on. An inhabited place of greater size, population, or importance than a town or village. So it has to be inhabited for it to be a city. So how is it the land of Nod if it's not inhabited?
Yeah, hold on. Look at this. So look, searching for the sin gene. This was published in 1990. Oh, look at this. Does a sin gene exist? Ministry magazine. Okay. Genes determine our physical makeup, basic personality traits, and aptitudes. They have an enormous influence on who we are and how we behave. Genes are segments of the chromosomes that direct the production of proteins. As of 2003, we know that the chemical structure of our genes spread out on 24 chromosomes. Right?
Are they really trying to go into the science of
Yeah.
Oh
So this is a long thing. Are there sin genes? In fact, the arguments against the notion of a sin gene are more impressive than the ones for it. If sin had a genetic basis, the Creator would be responsible for our sinful nature. Judgment for sinful behavior would constitute a mockery of justice. Even in earthly courts, aberrant behavior based on psychological causes is treated with compassion. Additionally, there would be no known way to stop sinning, and conversion could occur only with a genetic change. See that?
Yeah, we have to mutate. We have to become.
No, it would be there would be no point in teaching people not to sin because it's inherent. That's like teaching
it's
you
in
not
my
to
blood,
breathe.
bro. It's in my genes.
I can't not be this guy. I am. Wow. Also, if a sin gene were identified, then some form of gene therapy could cure this problem.
Right.
As with any other illness caused by faulty genes.
Yeah, you know, the chemo or something like that.
Chemo it out of you. There would be no reason to think that God's saving grace is needed for the reformation of character. This is a great point, man. This is a really great point. Let's go.
Basically, you're cut.
It was holy and righteous. Yes, sex was holy and right. But due to their rebellion, the bloodline
Give me Hebrews 13 real quick. Is that Hebrews 13?
13:8, yeah.
changed it. And why Jesus was born of the Virgin Mary, they don't believe that.
Yeah, I damn sure don't believe that.
Hebrews 13:8. Oh, no. Where is it at? I'm thinking where's that at? The marriage bed is undefiled. Hold on. Is it my... Oh, sorry. It's 13:4. My bad. Hebrews 13:4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
So it says the marriage bed is honorable and undefiled. So how did it stop being holy and righteous? When did sex become unholy and unrighteous if the marriage bed is undefiled? I could see somebody saying that, the different unlawful forms of sex and things of that nature, but the marriage bed is holy and righteous. There is nothing to change that from Old to New Testament.
Right. Yeah, and the brother IFM made another powerful point. What's the if you're telling a homosexual, right, to repent, they're gonna say, I can't. It's just God made me this way. I have the sin gene. He gave me the sin gene.
Also, not just the sin gene, but also this death gene. Now, okay, so
it's the sin gene and the jet gene, or they're both the same?
I don't know if maybe one leads to the other, one's a byproduct of the other. But here's my question, right? Does the death gene ensure that I'm gonna get shot in the head?
Right.
What if I die by unnatural causes? Is that, you know what I'm saying? This is crazy. Look at this article on the death gene. Is death an acquired trait? We like to think death is unavoidable. We believe that all things must die. It makes our own mortality easier to bear. Yet single-celled life forms don't necessarily ever die. They can beat the odds, and indeed every surviving amoeba on Earth has been Okay, I can't even deal with that. Has been alive billions of years. I need somebody I need a way that you substantiate it. I need methodology. So maybe death is not inevitable and is just an evolutionary wow. Death may be a competitive advantage devised by multi-cell organisms that seems pretty counterintuitive. If it exists, the death gene would be a DNA programming that limits our lifespan. Something that makes a species dying much more predictable than random accidents otherwise would. Evidence of this is all around us. Most insect species live a season at most. Dogs are good for 10 to 15 years. We live 60 to 100 years, though probably without medicine 40 to 70. Interesting. Years is closer to our natural genetic programming, which is biblical. Some turtles live much longer than we do without medical technology. Some species of trees live hundreds of years, and there are redwoods over 2,000 years old. Still, maybe environmental or anatomical constraints determine lifespans, right? So it's not a gene. That's the point. There's not a death gene or a sin gene. You're making this up by some kooky pork chop pastor.
Not Christian indoctrination of what the master gave us. This is scripture, hardcore, true, and real that he can't get around. Where is the people that's supposed to be here then?
You are
right.
the ones that wanted to find and kill Cain and his wife.
Since they were still before Adam and Eve, he cannot answer it. He won't answer it because it is none. Because he goes against scripture. He is using assertion to try to back up his belief.
What assertion did I make? I need you to identify the assertion I made in my opening 8 minutes. One assertion.
Don't back him up at all. Where are these people that were there before Adam and Eve? How do he get around Adam being the one that created women? The Bible clearly says.
How? But it's just Most High. You said.
Give me Genesis 1 again. This
liar.
nigga's an idiot, man.
Liar.
You're a liar, man, and a bad one at that.
Genesis 1. What you want? 20?
I need the 6th day.
Okay. Genesis chapter 1, verse 21. And God created great whales and every living creature that moves.
No. 6th day.
Oh, my bad. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
Read on.
So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them.
No, Adam created female.
And male and female created he
The Most
them.
High created female, created woman. Adam did not. You're cut.
Liar.
Adam said, she shall be called woman.
He didn't create her though, genius.
So how do you have women here apart from Adam created it?
I mean, I don't know. You said Cain had a wife.
No, I got a wife.
Adam created the word woman. How can you have other women here when Adam was the one that created the word? If there were men and women here before him. These are common sense questions that he cannot answer because the Bible don't back him up. Adam called the first man. Jesus called the second Adam. He don't even understand what that means. The first Adam is showing that he was created from the dust. And God breathed into him the breath of life. Jesus called the second Adam because he showed you how Adam was operating before sin. In other words, if you want to know how Adam looked,
No, it's the same guy.
Where the hell are you getting this information?
Yeah, where are you drawing this from? It's the same guy. There's not even any scripture that suggests what he's saying. Well, how does anybody operate before sin? Without sin.
Where did this guy learn from? He learned from that brother that came by camp on Thursday. That's who he learned from.
Who, Yeah, wait till y'all see this beautiful being footage, right?
garden before he sinned, you look at Jesus, who called the second Adam, not Cain being born from Adam, which makes him the second Adam. No, he's showing you how Adam looked in the beginning in paradise when it was created. So here's my question. Now, when you read the scripture, why do it say in Adam all died? Talking about mankind according to his species. What's more accurate? What I'm saying according to scripture
No.
Where?
Where is the spiritual death said there? No. When did they die? They died, meaning they were going to die. They were going to have a death. Versus a peaceful transition, they were going to have they would die. Versus how Enoch was translated, they would die. That's what that means.
How do you assume? This dude was talking about assume, and he's talking about Adam and Eve spiritually dying. Then it said Adam lived almost 1,000 years, right? So 900 years.
So are we saying that he was being wicked his whole life, that whole time?
900 years.
Because how was he dying spiritually if he's being wicked? Are we saying that Adam couldn't repent? Adam was wicked all his days after that, but the Lord gave him Seth, right? And Seth was made in Adam's own image. What does that mean? Bet he don't got an answer for that.
When the devil enters, immediately, the day you eat, you die. You die spiritually immediately. That's the death genius. And why all human beings die? Because of Adam. Then he said Enoch and Elijah didn't die. No, because God took and removed them. We talking about when you living, eventually you die. If God didn't take Elijah and Enoch, they definitely would have died. So you see how his logic don't even line up with the word of God. He's correct.
You don't even know what logic means.
Intelligent, but really showing spiritually deaf. Why? Because the love of God don't operate in them. And when you spewing hatred, separation, and division, you acting and excluded from God. So what you seeing is not even.
But does God preach hatred, separation, and division?
But come on, man.
Does God say he hates? Does God say he separates? And does God say he divides? All of those scriptures through the Spirit of the Most High. So that is God separated from God then? According to this nigga.
Well, he's a Trinity. He's a Trinitarian. So
The triune is separate.
Well, no, I'm saying that because remember, he believes that when I believe so. Trinitarians believe when Christ died, he was death means that you're separated from God. So when Christ died, he was separate.
The man Jesus.
Oh, sorry.
That's the excuse. Well, the God man, but only the man part died. The God was always God.
How stupid is that?
That's stupid to believe in.
There you go.
Word is producing because you're going off your own reason. You're going off your own action. And you can't even see what's literally clear before your eyes. Again, people, listen. The Bible says Eve is the mother of all the living. That's according to her species. If she's the mother of all the living, tell me this one thing. How is it that you got other people beside her? Then he said these humans. These human beings came out of water.
And again, Eve is the mother of all living because only her descendants made it through the flood. So everyone that lives today is a descendant of Adam and Eve. That doesn't mean everyone who's ever existed on the earth. Quick question. Was Melchizedek a son of Adam and Eve? Riddle me that.
Right? When God said man was formed of the dust, from the dust you were formed, and from the dust you shall return. But he wanted to.
This nigga's retarded. Well, we've already debunked that through the Spirit of the Most High.
Manipulate scriptures and deceive it again by saying that these people were created from the ocean in the water, then use our babies in the womb of a mother, talk about the water.
We observe human beings get born out of water every time one is born. How many times do you observe a human being being born from dust, Hassad? Have you ever seen it?
I've never seen it.
Did it come out of water though?
Yes.
The hell is this nigga talking?
Second Ezra chapter 8, verse 8.
There we go.
It says, okay. For when the body is fashioned now in the mother's womb, and thou givest it members, thy creature, so the human being is in fact a creature, is preserved in fire and water. And 9 months doth thy workmanship endure, thy creature which is created in her. Why do you think there's something called a water being broken? A woman's water breaks.
Breaks, that's right.
Similar to how you must have broken your damn brain when you were younger.
Bring that out, huh? Right? Where we at? Oh, yeah, let's go.
It's a flood that in the mouth. Do you see the manipulation and deception of the word? So notice it don't even back him up at all. And while Genesis chapter 3, Jesus is called the seed of the woman. Why? Because in Adam is the death gene. In Adam all died. He was born of the virgin. He didn't have an earthly father. So
Well, but he had an earthly mother that has an earthly father, so why wouldn't he inherit the death gene?
He's saying the death gene goes through your father.
Meaning the black man is evil. That's what he's saying. He's saying the black man is evil.
That's right.
That's what he's saying. He hates the black man. That's why he's effeminate.
That's
He
right.
hates the black man. He hates himself, man,
right.
as a black man.
Right.
That's what's being said here.
Right.
The black man makes you die.
Right. Black people
Or death.
They're death.
That's what the nigga saying.
Niggas are death.
If you have a black father, that nigga, he made you die. That's what he's saying.
We're all gonna die
Because we have black fathers. Because of the N-word. That's what he wants to say. Because he hates black people, man. This is a fervent racist, all right, against his own.
Right.
bloodline that's in him.
I should have said that. Sonetta would have loved for me to say that. What you saying is the black man is evil.
Right, that's what he's saying.
The word of God and truth. And y'all see, this is another victory for Jesus Christ.
He sound like somebody's grandma, don't he?
He sure does.
This
Well,
is
he
another.
needs to put on, he needs to take off one of the damn wave cap and put on them big ass hats that them sisters be wearing in the church.
Talking about, yeah, this is another victory for Jesus. Oh, it's another victory for Jesus.
All right. Second round for my brother, Guerrilla Hebrew. Guerrilla Hebrew, the time will start when you start talking, brother.
All right, again, I give all praises to you. How about you, know, son? I just praise and thank the Most High God that we have an audience listening that is so sick and tired and fed up of the pastor buck death and the huck and shut and all of that stuff that this dude is doing a very watered down bootleg version of right now. I give all praise to the Most High. Battle Troop, you have to understand, saying that there's no way that I can get around this does not make you right. You just constantly asserting that. That's your attempt of kind of covering bases that your ideology can't cover. I want you to realize what you did was stick the dagger in yourself in your own fatal flaw. He said, Cain, he didn't get his wife a nod. He had his wife already. But this dude is telling you that Adam and Eve were the first two people. Then they had two kids, Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel. So where in the hell is Cain get his wife? Can you explain to me where Cain got his wife that you said he had before he got a nod?
No, and mind you, he never explains.
And who is this that Cain is afraid of killing him if nobody exists except his parents? You said that Cain was afraid of somebody killing him. And you said Cain had a wife before he went to Nod. And in the same breath, you said there was nobody else on the earth but the three people. I really need everyone to slow that down and listen. He just said Cain had a wife when no one else existed, no other woman existed but his mom. Right? Who was Adam's wife, who then had what? A baby by Adam again and had that. This man just said that. Right? Are we paying attention? I want to make sure everyone is listening. Then he said, well, why would they go and build the city if there were people there? Well, there were Native Americans in America when the white man came here. Did they still build cities? That's illogical, bro. It's ridiculous that a grown black man has this little logic. It's ridiculous. Let me go over these notes, though. And the whole thing about all the, again, I just watched Cesare, I cleaned him up on this, so the nerve of him, yeah, Eve is the mother of all, yes, because everyone that survived the global flood was a descendant of Adam and Eve. So everyone that repopulated the earth after the flood, Noah and his three sons, are all descendants of who? Adam and Eve. That's why Eve is the mother of all living. That's why everyone that's alive now is a descendant of Adam, because there was a flood that destroyed everyone else except for 8 of their descendants. That's very, very simple. And again, you keep talking about this death gene, and I ask you in specifics to scientifically explain this. You do understand that the Bible and God created the earth, this realm, and in large part operates within the realm of the practicality in which that he created. You do understand that everything that you're asserting here defies science as we understand it. I'm not saying there's not a miraculous anomalies throughout scripture and things that happen that are unexplainable scientifically to this point. But much of the scripture, especially creation, is all scientifically verifiable. But if we take a look at how you're reporting it, it's not. These are total anomalies. And also an anomaly is how a man got a wife when only 3 people exist, and one of which is his mother. I mean, it's ridiculous. But with that, I'll yield the rest of my rebuttal time. The man stuck the dagger on himself. We can move on to the next topic. All praise God, Bashi.
Yeah, there wasn't even no need for any of that. I left 4 minutes on the table. Why? Very simple. It's clear. He's done on this topic. Jalen Howard. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatah Watha Wata.
Okay, we got a last and final round. We got another round. If y'all want to turn this last round into this topic as questioning each other, you can. If you have a question for Battle Truth on this topic, you can ask them. Battle Truth, if you got a question for Guerrilla on this topic, I will allow y'all to ask each other the question. Or we can move to the next question.
I definitely got questions for him.
All right, it's on you, Battle Truth. Ask your question.
He said, first of all, he twisted my words. I never once said that Eve was the only woman. So how is it that Cain got a wife? Twisting my words. We know Eve.
So she's not the only woman. So how are Adam and Eve the first 2 people?
Where did this woman come from?
Where did she manifest?
He does not explain that, fam. I need y'all to understand that he does not answer that question.
How many ribs do Adam got that he given out?
Right.
The first woman. We know.
Okay, so who's the other woman?
Hold up, Guerrilla. Let him ask you, and you're gonna be able to answer.
Answer me a question.
No.
Now I'm getting ready to. All right, y'all gotta remember all the greats in the NBA. What do they do aside? Did they argue with the ref?
No, sir.
Did they go to the ref like, my nigga, what the fuck is going on? All right, so Soneta's getting ready to give me a technical foul. I'm just doing what I see the greats do.
I remember there was a time though where Michael Jordan was he didn't argue with the ref. He walked into the ref and said, "Man, you missed that call, bro." And the ref said, "Really, bro? Really, Mike? I did. Mike, I'm sorry, Mike. It won't happen again." That's what
No, you missed that call, man.
Right.
You missed it.
This dude missed the call. He's missed several calls.
Finish answering the question.
And answered calls he shouldn't have.
He's not asking me a question right now.
He's Guerrilla. Hold up. Everybody, hold up. What he's trying to do is he's trying to build a time out. Everybody, time out.
Now you see that?
Hold on, Guerrilla, hold on. Time.
Y'all see this? This is how you add drama to this, man. All right? You gotta add drama, etc. But my thing is, if it's a question round, I don't want to hear your filibuster, because what you're now doing you're now wasting time. You're wasting time and doing what you should have did in your other round, wasting time, making up for that, and then you're gonna give me a question at the end. No, just ask the questions. Because when it's rapid fire and I don't want to waste time. I want the questions. I want the back and forth. I want to get my hands on you, right?
Time out, Guerrilla. I don't want to do that later on in the round too.
But anyway, though, people, look, I ain't even got to defend that. It's already recorded, so people gonna hear it on their own.
You see that? You see that? I don't have to answer the question. You devil. What do you mean you don't have to answer the question?
You don't have to talk about where Cain got his wife from. We just gonna totally ignore that Cain got his wife out of the thin blue sky.
Yeah. Actually, you do have to answer the question. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. But sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer.
Apologia.
To every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear. You have to answer. Sir, you have to answer that question. I don't have to answer that question. Who gave you the right to just not answer
Not answer questions, man. When you are an alleged Bible believer.
Chad already had a wife when he got to the land of God. Anyway.
That defies your beliefs.
How insane is that? I'm totally wrong, but whatever. Let's continue.
Admit it. He has forfeited this topic in that sentence.
You lose, and if you think you won, you're sick.
Well, you're deceived.
Right. Or
he said, y'all, that Eve is called the mother of all the living because of the flood. But she called the mother of all the living in the beginning before the flood. How do you explain she called?
Well. Give us a second.
Simple. But a historiographical narrative. What that means is it was written happened.
Real quick, and this is why I objected to and made such a big fuss about what he was doing, because he took time that he was supposed to be answering a question to say things and then went to another topic and then asked me a question. So his whole filibuster that I initially objected to was in no way related to the question that he would ask me. So I feel like that's not a fair way to deal with a rapid fire round where we're questioning one another. You don't get to filibuster about something that you feel like you didn't cover properly in your rounds. That's over. The rounds are over. And the crazy thing is he did all that to still not cover his tracks, because it's impossible to cover his tracks, and to stick a dagger in himself yet again and to have a virtual forfeiture of this topic.
So after this happened, it's being written, and that's why. It's the same reason why in Genesis 16 it talks about the land of Amalek, which is 16 chapters before the man Amalek was born to even have a land. All right, it's called historiographical narrative. That's why.
That you still didn't back up that question. You using the script.
You're just dumb. You're dumb.
We're gonna call it that. We're gonna say it, and we're gonna say it with the utmost certainty.
That's right. You are dumb.
You're not smart.
I answered the question. I did not take an assertion. I gave you an understanding on how the Bible and how it was documented.
And there was a polite way of saying you're an idiot. Clearly.
Now my question.
Hey, mother, I know it's my question.
Beautiful. So where did Eve get his wife? I mean, where did Cain get his wife?
Cain already had his wife.
Okay, where did he get her from? How did she exist? Adam was the first man, and Eve was the first woman. Where did this woman come from?
From his mother and father, like the Bible says they have had other sons and daughters in the
But
full.
it
that's
says they didn't have other sons and daughters.
So that means Cain is committing incest, right?
I'll read that in my opening round. Let's read it then. And the days of Adam, after he got Seth, 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. So after he begat Seth, he had sons and daughters, not before. Can you show me he had sons and daughters before Seth?
Reading scripture. What it's telling you is Seth was born after that. And it's telling you that he had other sons and daughters.
Yes, after. In the days of Adam, he had Seth. 800 years, and he had sons and daughters. After Seth.
In the days of Adam, after he begot Seth, was 800 years. And he had other sons and daughters. Read it back. You don't know how to read.
I actually read it right. You said he had other sons and daughters. It doesn't say that. It said he had sons and daughters. Like you did.
I'm reading the King James verse.
Other in the King James version.
Adam, he got Seth for 800
Again. Look at something.
That's why I said I read it right. First of all, is the word other in there? Is the word other in there, brother? Is the word other in there? No, right? So why did you say it the first time and almost say it the second time?
You ain't listening, fam. Listen.
All right, that's fine.
Hey, bro, you're bringing confusion. See?
Is that your answer? Is that your answer? Verses 5 and 4? No, stop.
All right. Hold on, Battle Truth. Battle Truth. All right. We're gonna move on to the next round. Let the people judge that. And Guerrilla Hebrew. What is the second one again about the law?
Yeah. So with this, man, we're gonna close this on up here with that topic. I guess we'll probably just do topic for topic. Yeah, the sound is distorted because it's on the phone, and then it was on the phone, and he was had it on speakerphone to the mic, and then I got it through my speakers to the mic. So it's kind of like a double distortion. So it's a lot here, but we'll probably take this one because it's 4 different topics. So we probably gonna do this one at a time. This was the shortest one, being 38:58, so about 39 minutes. Yeah, we were screaming at each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why it's breaking up. And also, my stream is not that good. This internet hasn't been working properly. There's an issue with the fiber. I've been seeing them. They've been working even when I got it, because I only moved in here last month. So even there was a lot of stuff they had to do with the fiber. Literally, dude probably pulled up to my house at 9 a.m. He didn't leave till 3 or 4. And the internet wasn't ready till 3 or 4. And it was mostly them dealing with the fiber down the street, down the block. They're working on the fiber all over in this area. So it's being kind of in and out the internet because it's, some fiber optic issues, that's going on. But but yeah, we probably gonna take this one topic at a time. So this is the first one. But it's pretty clear. Dude was destroyed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. To me, Genesis is the same story. Hold on. This is great. Okay, I just wanna. To me, Genesis is the same story repeatedly being told, and each time more detailed accounts were to just reveal over time. It's a theory about Adam and Eve, and Noah became. Nah. I would say you're totally off on that. It's not the same story that's being retold. It's similar things are happening. That's what it is. Because it doesn't make any sense for Adam, Eve, and Noah to be Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That doesn't line up. You know? But, it's all praise Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Yeah, this guy is you know, just not smart. The brother's just not smart, and he is, you know, Operation Human Shield for Massa and Massa's Christianity. He's representing these black men that's coming out, and Hispanic men that's coming out, and women that are Operation Human Shield for Master's Plantation Christianity. And they'll do anything to defend and protect that. And it's unfortunate, man. It's high time that we realize that we are the true sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We are the Israelites. We are the true children of the Most High God, and we need to come back to the law, statutes, commandments, and faith in Yahushua. Period. That's what time we're in. A lot of us is not paying no attention. See, look, now it's green. See that? Oh, and then it went back red. Because I see it was green when it was steady, and this is blinking again. Yeah, there's some issues. Most High will, man. You know, they get it together. They keep working on this fiber and get it up and running. Most High willing, the Spirit of Most High that occurs. But yeah, so we're gonna probably be doing this. We did tonight, Sunday. We'll probably do this for Monday class, the next topic. Tuesday class, the next topic. We should be having Situation Room Wednesday, so we'll see. Then we might push the next one off to maybe Thursday or Friday, so we'll see. But I want to get through this. And then what was the next one I wanted to deal with after this? Aside the next tape I wanted to analyze.
Next topic? Or
the next video I wanted to analyze after we get done with this debate.
I don't
I think the one with the Afro-Latina Christians and Tazamah Moth, Captain Tazamah. That's going to be a good one in the spirit. I want to do that. You know, also though, man, all praise Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the brothers from Cornerstone of Israel. They invited us out to an operation that they've been doing on a regular basis at Creflo Dollar's church, which is the World Changer Ministry, the World Dome out here in College Park in Atlanta. And we was invited out there today through the Spirit, man. It was beautiful, beautiful unity. Got this footage coming very, very, very soon through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So y'all gonna love that footage. So like I promise, y'all gonna love that footage. I'm gonna give y'all a quick spoiler. Creflo Dollar called police. Yes, the authorities were called. The police were called on us. Most definitely. We were able to interface with certain, you know, of his congregation though. So that was good. So y'all look out for that. I think Most High will look for it Saturday night. Saturday night right here on SICARRI Public Enemies. Most High will 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific. I plan to Most High will have that up. So look out for that. Again, we're going to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto the Most High God Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ Yahweh Shah.